Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, we return to Transformers EarthSpark as we review episodes 3 and 4 of the newest Transformers cartoon series. Today is Friday, January 27th, 2023, and this is episode 322 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that never thought Bumblebee would ask Megatron for advice on leadership. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Howdy. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for your continued support. We really appreciate it, and it is what keeps us going. If you are not a Donatreon and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can sign up. And this week, we welcome 2 new Donatrons to the fold. So thank you so much to Nathan and Clint. Nathan joined as a Talk Back to Us supporter and has signed up for a full year. So thank you, Nathan, for your trust in us. And Clint has become a duly appointed supporter of the Transmissions podcast. So that's a pretty significant level. And he's a returning Donatron, just came back over the holidays, joined the Discord again, got back into listening to the podcast, and has now signed up for the Donatron again, and we really appreciate it. So Clint, thank you for coming back. Welcome back, and it's great to have you, and thanks for your support.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when you become a Donatron, you get some benefits, some perks. There's some merchandise at the higher level, but of course, there's also a bunch of bonus content. Chief among them is our bonus show, We Like Big Bots. That's done by that guy right there, Daryl and Dr. Pants. So they take us through all the universe of big bots in the Transformers universe. We've got 9 episodes out already, so you can go back through them. If you're a new Donatron, you can go binge them right now and look at them all through the Patreon page. And we've got new ones coming. So we've got another one coming next week. So look forward to that. And we'll try to keep them coming as much as we can. As long as Dr. Pants and Daryl can keep it going, they'll keep coming. So
there's an awful lot of big bots out there.
And the Hasbro keeps making more of them. So we shouldn't. Hopefully, we shouldn't run out. All right. So that's all on our Patreon page. Also, we've got our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast. That is Empire of Rust. This week, we have our bonus uncut version of the next episode. That's episode 94, Docking Bay 94. So this week, you have access to that if you are a Donatron. Of course, the regular version of that episode is coming out this Monday, January 30th. So if you are not a Donatron, you can still listen to the main episode as it comes out. But if you are a Donatron, you've got that bonus early access with all the extra content left in there. So enjoy that and keep listening. Let us know what you think. Okay, this week we've got a review to talk about. Sadly, no comics yet, but we do have a TV show review for you. So let's get into that right now. This week, we're getting back into reviews. So we've got 2 episodes of Transformers EarthSpark. Remember that? So we're getting back into reviewing that show. We did episodes 1 and 2 back in November when it premiered. So we figured we'd go through a few more episodes, maybe go through the whole season as we do in a few episodes. So this week we're gonna tackle episodes 3 and 4. Episode 3 is sponsored by DairyCon, Moo-ving In.
Yes, I think it's Wisconsin approved.
And episode 4 is House Rules. So these 2 episodes, so the first 2 episodes of EarthSpark did a good job, I think, of introducing the characters. We are introduced to the world as the Transformers world. In this particular cartoon, we get Optimus, we get Megatron, Elita 1, and Bumblebee. We get a little bit, but he is not the main character in those first 2 episodes. But here in episodes 3 and 4, we really cement Bumblebee as his mentor role. For taking care of the Malto family and the new Terran Transformers, and he's put in charge of basically teaching them how to be Transformers and training them to become future Autobots. And also, this combines with the family dynamic of the Malto family with Twitch and Thrash, the newly created Transformers, and then the human family of Mo and Dot, Alex, Mo, and I forget the boy.
Robbie.
Yeah, there you go. So those are our main characters, and these two episodes are kind of they're not quite action packed. I mean, we'll take them one by one. So episode 3 is Moving In, has to do with a lot of cows. There's a lot of cows in this episode. When Twitch was very enamored with the little fluffy ears cow, I couldn't help but think back to the Simpsons episode Lisa the Vegetarian, where Lisa goes to the petting zoo and falls in love with the little baby sheep, and then that evening at dinner, Marge makes lamb chops for dinner. And you're harshly reminded that we eat these things, even though they're very cute. We eat them. So I couldn't help thinking of that watching this episode. How they're so worried about saving these cows, but these are livestock. These are not pets.
I don't know what you're talking about, Charles. My food comes from the grocery store.
But anyway, that aside, it's a cute episode. I mean, you see how Bumblebee, it's all about Bumblebee joining the Malto family and being a little bit unsure of how to train the new Terran Transformers, and how he seeks out advice from his mentor Optimus Prime about how he can train these new recruits, but he can never get Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime is always out and on voicemail and has other people picking up his line. So he gets some advice from Megatron and Elita 1. And then when he finally does reach Optimus Prime, he realizes the good advice was inside him all along. So he actually didn't need Optimus's help after all. But it's introduced. This was definitely more Bumblebee focused. So introduce us to Bumblebee. Bumblebee voiced by Danny Pudi, who you might remember from Community. He was Abed on Community, so that's his main claim to fame. And he does a good job as the voice of Bumblebee here. I thought it was he was pretty well done. It's. I couldn't help also, when he's introduced, he's speeding down the highway and doing all, looking at how fast he can go. I kept thinking, this is Hot Rod. This is not really Bumblebee's style. Bumblebee's not really the guy who's the speed freak or trying to, show off how fast he is or what his moves are. That's more a Hot Rod thing, but it's a different universe, different, slightly different character here. Also, I kept thinking about, some of the background lore. They mentioned like briefly that Bumblebee is in hiding, and he's for some reason they faked his death. So, don't know why he's hiding out and not like just publicly with the Autobots, and also not doing a very good job of hiding, because people kind of we'll see that in the next episode. People kind of know where he is, discover where he is, and it's not really remarked on. But maybe the lore will get expanded in later in this season, or even in season 2. So we'll see. But overall, it's a I think it's a pleasant kids episode, not a whole lot of action. It's, it's more introducing us to Bumblebee, and, okay, it's fine. Daryl, I'm guessing this was not a an super awesome episode for you, but what did you think?
I mean, I enjoyed it fine. I did come up with a couple issues for myself. One, at the beginning of the episode, Jeremy, I don't know whether you can bring it up there, but if you just want to run it from like the 30-second mark in the episode, you can bring up the clip. Yeah, so Bumblebee's flying down the road next to this train, and he shifts it into high gear and jumps in the back of this truck, jumps over the train and lands on another road that is running parallel to this train track. But the road is not on the other side of the train anymore. So I have a big problem with that. So the road that he's on at the start of the episode, he uses with a truck to jump over a train and land on another road that's running parallel to the train as well. And then the existing road isn't there anymore. If you can play that again, you will see what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Now, the only thing that I could come up with, you can play that again, go ahead, is that, see, there he goes, jumping over the train and again on the road. And then as you see it, as he drives away, no road on the other side.
And so you would think that, where'd the truck go?
Where's the truck? And the only thing that I could think of is that, okay, there's a railway crossing that the truck has to stop at, and Bumblebee didn't want to stop. Well, you got to show that maybe, or show that maybe do a little scene of like, just the railway crossing ahead.
There is a railway
that's
crossing.
Why he's jumping.
There's a railway crossing right here, but there's no road over there.
There's no road.
It's a road that goes into the trees.
I noticed it right away when I was watching it, but this is my adult eyes looking at it thinking, and my adult driver eyes watching it, like, why is he jumping it? Oh, he's jumping it to get to the road. There's no reason to get to the road on the other side because he's on a road already. Oh, okay. So it made no sense to me. Second problem I found, which is no problem for me really, but it's a problem for Hasbro, is that Bumblebee or the dad Malto, I can't remember who says it, but says something about them transforming.
Oh, they used to transform. I was going to bring it up. It was all throughout the episode.
And I'm like, okay, all right, you're leaning into this in the show, but when you talk about the toys, it's convert, right? So I'm like, okay, I noticed it here, right? Like the whole episode was about transforming and the inability to transform.
They seem to be able to use it in the cartoons and the movies.
And I think even here they use it like 2 or 3 times. They don't use it throughout the episode. Like you do hear them say, I got to change form or change mode. So maybe they got some special compensation.
At one point, Bumblebee was like, it's part of our name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say transform. He says it's part of our name, but he doesn't say transform is part of our name.
Well, he does say the word transform. Yeah. So those were the 2 parts that I found that kind of stuck out to me really, really blatantly. Other than that, I found the show to be kind of, fun. It's, it's a kid's show. I'm not going to come down too harsh on it. It's fun. And the characters are, cute and clever. I enjoyed the cow stuff that was happening. It was fine with me. I didn't really, I'm not looking at it looking for, I don't know, high level writing. I'm just looking for it for a fun show that my son will watch in a couple years when he's capable of sitting still for 5 seconds. So, but other than that, it's a fun show and had a really nice little family message at the end, which is always good. And shows like this need to have the family message or some kind of overarching message to kind of bring the whole show together.
Cool. Jeremy, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't my favorite that I've seen. I've only seen up to these 4 at this point because I'm trying to keep up with when we review them. But I'll probably change that and just blow through the rest of them. But this one definitely didn't have the energy of the first 2. And like you even pointed out, that's, the first one had to set up everything. But I thought this was good in you're trying to portray Bumblebee as coming back into a team setting from being by himself for so long. And it did play that up a lot. And I thought it got that across really well. I like the Cal stuff, and they really they did a lot of show but not tell with some of the Cal stuff. Like when the cows escaped, I don't think they really went too far into, there's a hole in the fence and you don't see any cows, and then they're like, the cows are all on the loose, we have to get them. And I thought that was really good because, with a lot of other shows, they would have played that overboard. And I enjoyed the storytelling, even if I didn't enjoy the story as much on some of the beats. The cow stuff I thought I really did enjoy though. Let's see, what was the other? Oh, all of the Bumblebee products and stuff, and they mentioned like the walkie-talkies with the eyebrows and stuff. I'm like, Bumblebee doesn't have any eyebrows. You're like showing his face, and there's no eyebrows. And I mean, I think the whole thing was like at the end, you saw him smile, and that matched the facial expression more, but still no eyebrows. But I did think it was funny when the dad asked for the autograph, and it looks like Bumblebee is just gonna blast him, but he just does this focus thing to do his signature. Just little bits of humor there that I thought were funny. Some nice product placement with Hasbro with their games like Twister and stuff. But I don't know. It wasn't until like the end that I was really kind of getting into it when like, was it Twitch that was stuck on the rails? Like when she had to save the calf and then she got stuck and had to transform and was having problems. I thought that segment was really good in terms of building tension and the action. The animation I thought was done pretty well throughout. It is kind of jarring seeing like the 2D animation on top of the 3D, like smoke effects and stuff is all 2D.
I like that stuff. I thought it looked good.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't look good. It's just a little jarring to me. And in the next episode, I'm going to point out just something else that just threw me out of it. But in this episode, I thought was handled pretty well. And I'm really liking all these characters. But I'm still at this point, Optimus Prime just seems like a real jerk. I mean, Megatron is coming off as the more likable character between the two. So,
yeah.
And then Alita 1 also seems very likable from her brief scene here, but Optimus Prime just seems like a jerk. So I'm not sure where they're going to go with that, but it's just from the 3 episodes here, that's what I'm coming away with.
Yeah, that voicemail fake out. Leave that in the 90s.
Before we go on to the next episode, I wanted to touch on the foot getting stuck. I got a strong 86 movie callback to Starscream's foot getting stuck on that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you thought she was going to have to shoot her foot to get free?
Yeah. I mean, that was what I figured was going to happen.
They wouldn't do that in episode 3. But yeah, I do now thinking back, I'm like, I did have those feelings.
Yeah, I also liked Alex's devotion to Bumblebee. I thought that was, his kind of fan worship of Bumblebee. I thought that was a nice. I mean, we introduced that in the first episodes, but to see him meeting his hero was very very fun and cute.
Yeah,
But that
also Bumblebee having to live up to the legend of Bumblebee versus who he actually is, and that was a nice little story arc for Bumblebee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still, and I kind of really want an explanation as to what is going on with Bumblebee. Like, why is he in hiding? Why do they say he's like? I guess the official story is he's gone or dead or sacrificed himself or something. But they like he's got this reputation that he's got so much merchandise and product for him. So, yeah, it just makes me curious, but. I think overall, it's a fun episode. I really like Twitch and Thrash, the new robots, the new Transformers. I think their characterization is really fun, and seeing them have trouble transforming, having performance anxiety here was interesting. And nice to see them at the end. And yeah, I agree. The animation is pretty well done. I think. In 20 years, we won't have anybody saying it's terrible animation. Probably, hopefully, at least Daryl won't say that. I don't know. Maybe Daryl's son will say this animation is terrible.
But it's not a hologram.
Yeah, I have to use my eyes.
But yeah, I think, and I liked, some of the details I like for when Twitch is in her drone mode and she comes back to like fluffy ears, and the cow doesn't recognize her, and she's like, "Oh wait, let me transform so you can see who I am," and then she can't transform. But I thought that was a nice little detail. Yeah, cows don't know about Transformers, so they're not going to recognize you when you're in your vehicle mode. So I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
So. All right, well, that was episode 3 of EarthSpark. So episode 4 is a little bit more action heavy, and this is House Rules. And in this episode, we've got some Decepticon shenanigans going on here. So this is, in this episode, this is Twitch and Thrash getting more integrated into the family dynamic. And, they realize that it's not all fun and games. So, Dot, the mom, the Malto matriarch, she lays down the rules. I mean, she's a former soldier, currently a park ranger / ghost operative. So she's kind of, the in charge person here. So she, she lays down the house rules, and that's where the episode comes from. And, of course, Twitch is fine. Twitch is kind of the rule follower. She likes to, she definitely responds to the chore chart sticker sheet. That's if you have kids, that some kids respond really well to that, incentive reward structure thing, and some kids kind of it just bounces off of them, and they have to learn everything the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that's what we have here with Twitch. Twitch immediately takes to it, but Thrash is like, yeah, I'm not down with your chore chart. Go show someone else. I'm about let's push the boundaries, break the rules, and just have fun. And that gets him in trouble. But of course, at the end, he learns a lesson that sometimes rules are there to protect you and keep you safe, and not just to take your fun away. And some kids have to learn that lesson the hard way. And I liked and they in the middle of the episode, they get in trouble with Swindle. I like Swindle using them for his own ends. He's Swindle, of course, from way back in G1 has been always been the Decepticon who is a just con artist, the double dealing person.
It's kind of his
And
name.
yeah, yeah, it's in the name. It does what it says on the tin. And he's swindling them again in this episode. So Swindle's actually looking for his fellow Decepticon Hardtop. He actually calls him his brother. I guess that's a little interesting detail there. And the Ghost doesn't have Hardtop because he was. Or no, I think they do.
They did in the first two episodes.
That's right. They got him back after they rescued him from Mandroid. But Swindle doesn't know where he is, but he sees Ghost has some energon detection equipment that they're transporting in a truck, and if he can steal that, he can use that to help him find Hardtop. But it's energon shielded, and he can't break through that energon shield. But the shield only works on bots, and humans can walk right through it. So that was an interesting detail that we got at the end of the episode. I liked how Swindle, since he sees Thrash, doesn't recognize him as a new Transformer, so he's like, "Oh, here's a mark I can run some game on and convince him to help me." And it was pretty fun. I think Swindle kind of played this pretty perfectly for most of the episode. Like he wins their confidence of Thrash and Mo. He convinces them that he's their friend. He goes back to their house and then gets into it with Bumblebee and even turns that to his van. He's like, Bumblebee attacked me. I'm peaceful now. I wasn't trying to. And Bumblebee, of course, because Bumblebee's immediately like, that's Swindle. I got to take him out. So Swindle uses that to his advantage. He does everything right, and then at the very end, he kind of like immediately throws that out the window. He's like, "Okay, kid, get the thing for me, or I'll shoot you." And it's like you had finessed them the whole episode, and at the very end of the episode, you're like, I'm tired of this finessing thing. I'm just gonna threaten you to get what I want. It was interesting that third act. He kind of immediately turned around as soon as they like questioned him a little bit. He's like, I'm tired of this. I'm just gonna threaten you.
He realized the episode was almost over.
Clearly. But yeah, I mean, I think this was a fun episode, giving us the kind of the trope of the bad guy pretending to be good to win to get to convince the naive characters that he's friendly, but he really wasn't. And everything resolved itself, and they're still grounded at the end because they broke the rules, but they learned the
like
lesson.
80 years?
Something like that. It's fine. Next episode, they're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was a fun episode. I like this episode better than the episode 3, and also liked having Swindle here, having a Decepticon in the mix. Also, we get a little bit more on the state of the Decepticons. Like Dot in particular says, yeah, Decepticons are fine as long as they're not wrecking shit. if they want to be peaceful, it's fine, but you can't if you're a criminal, then we got to take you down. So I also liked in the beginning they have capture the flag, and Mo and Thrash are very into being Decepticons, and then Robbie and Twitch are very into like being Autobots, and Robbie's like, you Decepticreeps, all those shout out to Decepticreeps on the Discord. So yeah, it was a fun episode. Jeremy, what did you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed this one more than the last one. Like, just from the more action we had, and just Swindle, I think, is a great character, and a lot of times it seems it doesn't really work that well when you see like naive characters being played for marks like he does here. But these are literally kids, so of course they're more easily taken advantage of. And I thought it worked well. I towards the end, I liked when he knocked off that wheel from Thrash. Was it Thrash?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thrash. Yeah.
And when she picked it up, I'm like, what's that going to do? And then it changed. I realized it was for like the sidecar, but it turned into like a shield. And I thought that was, a neat way to kind of have them work together in a more believable fashion. Because obviously she's not going to do
How did
anything
she
else.
pick it up?
Well, okay.
Mass shifting. It didn't weigh anything until it transformed.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Even a wheel weighs a lot.
Yeah, but this is Cybertronian wheel.
Oh, right. Okay. They got a weird little metal.
And her little wrist thing probably helped.
Super strength. Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I appreciated the fact that can also be a shield, because I don't know if we've seen that before, and I'm sure that'll come up.
Yeah,
again.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but it worked. I think that part played really well. The mom character Dot is really relatable in terms of laying down the law, and the kids don't want to hear it. They don't understand why the rules are in place, and I get that a lot from my own kid when we're like, clean this up, and he's like, I don't see why we have to clean. Cleaning is so boring, and we're like, yeah, no one wants to do it. So it seems like a good episode, though. My kid watching this just right over his head. Let's see, the capture the flag thing was fun. Having played many capture the flag games as a kid, it was nice seeing that. Just it reminds me of good memories, and it's a fun game. So the thing that really kind of did take me out of this, though, I mentioned for the last episode review, I'm gonna play a little bit of this here. At times, particularly this scene here at the beginning with them cooking, this just looked like a little bit, just the way this animation looks here. And I don't know what it is about this particular scene. It just, the 3D was more, I don't know, it just seemed more out of place. Whereas later, in other spots, it's fine. It seemed more kind of like claymation in this scene. So I don't know. It was just weird.
I agree with you, Jeremy. Those sausages were very Uncanny Valley. If sausages can be Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, I wasn't even. I mean, the sausages too. But like, here, let me bring this back up here. Like, just the way, I think maybe the way the light's playing off of his shirt and the hair and stuff. I don't know. It seemed really odd. Though, I mean, I do appreciate all the work, like just seeing this now as a still image, all the work that they've put into filling out the house. Normally with, cartoons, you don't see a lot of the detail, like the books on the shelf and stuff. I mean, why would you do that? It makes it feel more lived in. So that part I do appreciate. But I think I'm interested in finding more about the Ghost faction, or that Ghost group, and so
Bring that picture back up.
Okay.
You live in a house with a single child, let alone two, and you expect them to have a kitchen that's that clean?
Yeah, that is
not a chance.
They just moved in.
Right.
Where are the boxes?
Right.
So,
they got nothing on the counters. I can't keep my kitchen clean, let alone get it this clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that too.
So, yeah.
But anyway, that's my thoughts on the episode.
All right, Daryl. Anything other than kitchen critique?
Yeah, I mean, this one, was a little bit more action heavy. But really, my biggest takeaway was just Swindle. Swindle was just a great character. I really liked the way that they played him off. They didn't mention anything about him having a team around him. Nothing about the Combaticons or anything like that. Just Swindle has just hard to just. I mean, Swindle has elevated beyond the Combaticons to become this character in and of himself, and he's looking for hardtop. So it's great, and the Swindle character in this show is really, really great. So yeah, I'm really glad that the way they've done it and the way that they played him off. There's a lot of Starscream in there too. I mean, there's Swindle and Starscream even in G1 shared a lot of the same personality traits, but Starscream was just more popular, so they just gave him more lines. But Swindle here is a very awesome character, and I'm glad that he's getting a chance to shine here in an early episode. I liked how Bumblebee he's still protecting them and stuff like that. It was a fun episode. I mean, it had a lot more action. I really don't have a lot more to say. I was really enthralled with the way that Swindle had characterization on that.
Cool. Yeah, this definitely was a standout for Swindle. I mean, this kind of puts to rest some of the fears I had before EarthSpark premiered that they weren't gonna have like any Decepticon presence, other than Megatron, and Megatron has switched sides. So it's nice to see. I mean, we got in the first two episodes, we got a little bit of Swindle and Hardtop as well. And we had other Decepticons too. So, and going later in the season, I believe there are more Decepticons show up. So it's just nice to see that, and more Autobots too. Other Autobots show up too. So it's nice to see the cast expanding a little bit.
Even had Alita 1 in this episode again, even though I don't think she spoke. It was just seeing her from a distance.
Yeah. And yeah, so and Optimus Prime and Megatron are not in this episode at all. So it's good to take the focus. Like, I mean, that's something that I think Transformers can be, is like, you can have. I mean, I know from Hasbro's point of view, you want to hit your key characters: Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, Starscream, Soundwave, etc. But I think you can. Transformers is such a big ensemble cast. You can have episodes that just focus on like other characters and give them a chance to shine. And here you get that with Swindle. So
I mean, you want to sell the toys.
Yep.
So focus on those characters.
Yep.
I do really like. We mentioned this on the episode 3, but the fact that they're playing the Decepticons as basically just another group of people. There are some good ones, some bad ones. I think that's really good that they're bringing that into this level of show where, we've seen that in the comics, for years. And, it's just a more kind of modern way to look at things. There's good and bad from every group. And, I'm interested to see how that plays out. If Megatron stays the way he is, kind of redeemed as a good Decepticon.
Yep. And again, the animation was really well done. I liked Swindle's design, his character design, his alt mode design were pretty cool. And you do get to see him transform several times in the episode. So, I'm all for having Transformers transform in the cartoons as much as possible. So I thought that was cool. And Swindle was voiced by Nolan North, who is the voice of Drake and
Skylinks.
Yes.
Skylinks in Transformers Prime.
Yes. And
Transformers show,
Smokescreen.
Charles.
And Smokescreen.
Show.
And yes, but he's more popularly known as Nathan Drake in the Drake's Uncharted series of video games. He's
I've never played that.
Never heard of it.
He's big. He's well known as a video game voice artist as well.
Yeah.
So
Tom Holland?
no, Daryl. That's the live action version.
Oh.
All right, I think we can wrap things up here. So that is episode 3 and 4 of Transformers EarthSpark. We will continue this series and review some more episodes in coming weeks. And let us know what you think of Transformers EarthSpark. Did you binge them all back when it premiered in November? Are you still watching it? Are you taking your time? Or did you bounce off it completely and didn't feel the need to go back to it? So let us know. All right. Well, that's our review. So we will finish up the show with a little bit of feedback. Okay, so we did get some feedback from our friend DJ Ronan on the Discord. And he had a little note for us about last week's Transmissions alt mode. And admittedly, it was a very short episode last week. We didn't have a lot of content. So DJ Ronan says, he says, I understand that without media, movie, TV show, comic, it is difficult to fill an alt mode episode, but I would like to break down this week's show. And he broke it down. Yeah, we had about 7 minutes of content in a 16-minute podcast. So he said, no, seems like that's doesn't really cross the bar for an alt mode episode. And he's suggesting maybe we should roll it back into, if weeks that we don't have enough content for a full alt mode episode, roll it back into the main show. I will agree that we were very light last week.
Hasbro.
But and actually, DJ Ronan, thank you. I think you kickstarted us back because we did talk about going back and reviewing other things to fill the gap as we're waiting for news on the Transformers comics license. But we, it's beginning of the year. We were, just kind of a little bit taking it easy and hadn't planned to review. So you kickstarted us, so we're getting back into reviews. So, thanks DJ Ronan for the kick in the butt. But we are keeping alt mode separate. I think we're, and the numbering has to stay consistent. I can't do a week off of alt mode and then the numbers get out of sync. That's just going to kill me. So we gotta keep doing separate episodes. I'm sorry.
So it looks like we won't be taking a week off if there's just nothing to do.
No, you got to have something. But we hope, at least with this episode, I hope this was, this was interesting. We reviewed 2 episodes of EarthSpark, so this will probably wind up being like a 40 or 50 minute show after it's edited. So are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Really, I think we just need a whole bunch of people to send in feedback that Daryl needs to watch Beast Wars. Put the pressure on them.
You guys are killing me here.
I second that emotion. There we go. That's one. All right. Well, thanks, DJ Ronan, for writing in. And, thank you for the suggestion. We appreciate it. Okay, well, that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. As always, we end the show with a shout out to our masterpiece donatrons. So thank you once again to John Forex Lemongood and Demon Tech 82. You are the guys who contribute at our highest level on Patreon, and we really appreciate that, which is why we give you a mention in every episode. So thank you for your continued support. And do remember, we are still partnering with our friends at toyhacks.com. So if you have any labels or stickers you want to get for your Transformers toys at toyhacks.com, remember to use our promo code TM1234. That's TM1234, and you will get 15% off your entire order at toyhacks.com. And tell them Transmission sent you.
That's what the code does.
Yes, exactly. All right. That'll do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.